You know, I was holding off putting out this video because of all like the Hassan shit. Like, what am I gonna say about his, shenanigans? What's not to say, ladies and gentlemen? Happy Sunday. 5 days out till Halloween starts on a Friday, and yeah, like this idea that before you point something out and it's clearly obvious to everybody, and then their reaction, like almost instantaneously, is to call you racist, is just a cover for you not pointing out the uncomfortable truth of reality, which is, there's people who are from bad places, right? Like they don't want to pick up their garbage. They don't want to treat women right. They don't want to read and write. They don't want to learn anything in particular. Like their entire lives are a fucking waste. And they'll come to this country, Canada, or America, or Europe, or anywhere else, Australia. Excuse me. And yeah, just like lower the standard of life for everybody. And now everybody's pointing this out, and these people aren't changing. They want us to change to be like them. Oh no, no, go spit on the street, piss anywhere you want, throw garbage anywhere you want. These are garbage people. These are trash people. We all know who we're talking about. We're talking about the Pakistanis. We're talking about the Sikhs. They're talking about they want to take over this place in London, and you should see these fucking retards, man. Like to say that like they did not win the genetic lottery is an understatement. Like these are the fucking ugliest people I've ever seen in my life, bar none. Right? And I'm a pretty racist guy. Like I can point to like this ethnicity, that ethnicity, and be like, Mister with that, right? But in the case of these idiots, like they just keep crashing trucks. You keep trying to like sexually assault women and stuff. It's just so old at this point. It's like, why even bother bringing it up? Because you know it's gonna happen. It's gonna keep happening. Because not only are they here, they just don't want to learn. They don't want to change. They want you to change. Be more like them. Allow people to die. Allow girls to get sexually assaulted, to get stalked, to get harassed. This is their way of life, and they don't want to stop because they can't clean up after themselves. What you're dealing with is human garbage. Like if you go to this country, right? There was this girl doing this interview. I think I spoke about this on like a previous video, right? I might link the actual video. So she's like in this like Muslim majority like country. I think either Pakistan or Bangladesh, right? Or Punjab, right? And this little boy comes up to her, asks her what her name is and this and that. And then I think like his friend gave him something, and then instead of like throwing it in the garbage, she just throws it on the street, right? And then she scolds him. She's like, "Don't do that. Pick that up and throw it in the bin, right?" And there's like a garbage bin right there, and he's like, "No," right? And then like shortly afterwards, he asks her for $1, right? Because she's like a white tourist, whatever. And she's like, "No, I don't want to do that. Look what you did. You just threw this piece of garbage on the ground, right?" So the kid gets upset and starts throwing garbage all around her and stuff for $1. And I'm like to myself, "What the fuck are this idiot, gonna do with a fucking dollar? What a fucking retard!" But then, like, you want to let him in the country. You want to pretend that like they know how to do their jobs, that they're actually doctors, like they actually know how to drive trucks, like they actually know how to do anything. And then you look at their countries, plural, right? So it's Bangladesh, Pakistan, like specifically the city of Lahore, Punjab. These places are shit sties, and you can go to Brampton and pretty much get like a little taste of it. Any like I live around like a Punjabi area, but if you go like Steel Side, there's like a lot of Muslims there. Dude, there's so much fucking garbage all the time, dude. And like the only people who would like go out of their way to pick it up are the people who chill in the park like fucking lazy losers who are like spying on girls and shit. Oh, we're positive people in the neighborhood and stuff. Meanwhile, they're peddling out for little kids. You know, I got banned off of Twitter for pointing this out, but everybody's fighting this shit out now. So I was talking about this, what was it, 5, 6 years ago? Maybe even like more than that. And from now, since then, like, it's not only gotten worse. Like, I have to come out and say that, like, this Halloween is going to be a very lonely time for the Sikhs. Because unless they get their parents to, like, buy them a girlfriend, like, a lot of them are just gonna go out, you know, singling, mingling, right? Which is, there's nothing really wrong with that, except when you don't know how to say no. You don't know how to say no. No to the no. You don't know the no. You know the no's. And it's a very perilous situation when you introduce alcohol, young men, a shorter supply of women, and yeah, you got a pressure cooker for disaster. And we're all barreling towards it. It's sad too, like, I know for a fact that even though a lot of these like retards have like their parents' money, you know, like, they come from areas where they're like the majority and shit, like here in Brampton, for sure, right? They're the majority of the people who live here. Oh, that nice old Sunday coffee and stuff. Helps clear the throat. But like on the real, right? Like, I just watched this like video of this guy. You know, he was under the influence. Last name same as mine. Drives a truck, kills a bunch of people, and you think that like it would stop at that? So that's there in America, apparently Los Angeles. I was actually confused. I thought it happened here because there's like I think like a city or town called Ontario in California. I'm confused. Because like our province or whatever. But anyways, like, you think it'd stop at that, but then and here's the difference between America and Canada. See, in America, they'll tell you, oh, this is the perpetrator, this is the suspect, the prime suspect behind this crime, right? They charge him with liquor or manslaughter. This is his name. This is how old he is. This is where he's from. Blah blah blah. Right? Undocumented, doesn't speak English, on the influence. Okay, a head-on collision, right? It happened in Brampton's. I forget which road. Head-on collision, and they don't even want to talk about it because yeah, I get, you know, people are dead, they died, but at the same time, they're like, yo, who was involved? A head-on collision, eh? Sounds pretty dangerous, like those new Sikh drivers, right? And everybody's complaining about, oh, you're racist for putting this out, and I'm like, no, people are dying. People are dying and have died and will continue to die because of these fucking retards. Okay? I remember when I was like much younger, I was 21, 22, right? I remember it was the weirdest thing. Like, the Sikh incel shot up a fucking school, right? And he had like, yeah, again, my parents' last name, whatever, right? I always wondered to myself, like, what is their actual fucking problem? And then I realized that they're fucking losers. It's not a problem, it's the reality. Like, we are told, don't be racist for pointing this out. Why? Why is that racist? Well, shouldn't they change? Shouldn't they be better? Like, how come they can get away with doing things like this? Like, exploiting their own people, to say the least, right? I just actually got back from watching this video from Tal Oran, the Traveling Clat. You know, go check him out. And he was talking about the Al Abid, or Al Bid, I don't know. It's like their name for black people in Palestine, or overall. I don't know if it's like all Muslim countries have it. I think so, actually, because it's like, when you really think about it, the multicultural leadership that you get in most other countries. Like you'd have like different constituents voting for different ethnicities, this and that, right? So in Canada we have like a Korean mayor, but she was married to some like Canadian dude, and yeah, we just have like multicultural like everything. Maybe to a fault, right? But then like you go around the world and it's just not the case, right? Like you're always going to have a president or or a leader who is of that nationality, not like a foreigner. Where like that's why Barack Obama was such a big deal. Like I'm Hawaiian, yeah, right, dude. You're not Hawaiian. You're not Barack Obama Hussein. Fuck out of here. The dude like dropped like $1 trillion on a fighter plane called the F-35, which is a total fucking waste of money. It's like if you wanted a Harrier, like a Harrier fighter jet, like that fighter plane that Arnold Schwarzenegger flies in True Lies, that one. If you wanted to fly, if you want to make a better version of that, but make it cost like I don't know, is it 20 to 100 times more? Because it's like 1 trillion to like research and develop this thing. What a fucking waste of money! Oh my god, so much money. But yeah, like that's the enemies in your on your like coming in your front door, trying to make your country weak, trying to make fun of your military and shit. See when Biden was like the president, see the kind of ads they ran off for your military, just insulting your whole country. All because your son's a fucking junkie, you know what I mean? All because you're upset that your lineage is like fucking, like he's not gonna be president. He's not gonna like. I would laugh so hard if America let Hunter Biden become a senator. I'd laugh so fucking hard. Senator Biden, you're just like you see Hunter Biden just like standing up, present. Mr. Hunter Biden, your presidency of your father was well appreciated. The internal state owes you a great debt. But I'm getting off topic, right? Like, so that's basically the difference of Canada and America of the many, right? Like the censorship of like who commits these types of crimes and like this and that. And like the attitude too is also like becoming almost like parallel to Americans. Like we're figuring out the hard way that these fake people try so hard and desperately for like normalcy and supremacy that like well the normalcy came first. They just wanted to like be accepted, and then after a while when people learned that this is what they're all about, then yeah they want, oh, we're gonna take over, we're gonna this, we're gonna that. That's why Halloween time, when the Sikhs are around, when the Pakis are around, like, if you don't see them with a girl, and there's like a lot of them, you know what I mean? And there's gonna be a lot of them. Like, make no mistake, these losers, they find safety in numbers, and they will very much, you know, storm a location, make it hard for people to, be heard, you know, suffocate the cries of women, put their mouths over them, someone's, keeping lookout. Like these kinds of things that I'm talking about, I've never experienced personally in my life, thankfully. But this is the goings on in Europe and, some places in Canada now, apparently. I hear Quebec, Montreal, they want to separate from Canada. And I can guarantee you I know the reason why. Because we can all speculate about the economy, about this and that, but the inevitability is that we all see the same problem, right? And we're always told that if we point this problem out, we are racist, we are this, we are that. And I don't see that as the case anymore, because if I'm racist for pointing this out, wouldn't the natural thing be to make sure that it doesn't happen? like it never happens again. Like it's just a stereotype or like a bad image. And it's not just me saying it. It's happened so many times, right? Like I hate to say this, but like there are people out there who have no idea on how to be like a normal human being, and they have to look to other people to copy and impersonate them, right? And in the case of like, when you have nothing, right? That kind of makes sense because it's like, okay, well, you have to adjust to a place where people are much different from you and they have expectations that you normally wouldn't have to entertain, right? But then when you have the opposite, people who enter into a foreign place but they don't want to change, right? That's where the problems come from. And this is where we're at right now. Like, they come from a place where it's basically living hell. They don't want to go back. And they've created it for themselves. It was all a ploy to kill the Hindus off, basically. There were just so many of them, and they just kept killing and killing. And let's be fair, there is a secret truth that people are denying, and that is that Hindus betray their own. In my lifetime, and I hate to admit this, but when it comes to other Hindus, I cannot trust them. They are very untrustworthy. They lie frequently, and they are exceedingly stupid, unhygienic, and talkative for absolutely utterly no reason. Like there's no point in them actually speaking or opening their mouths, but they just like to do it. And I think this is the something that everybody's noticing. Like I'm not the only one who notices this. It's been going on for so long that hell, I'm doing it right now. I'm talking to myself in this YouTube video. No breaks, right? But like to the extent of like you meet them in like real life, like whether they're like an acquaintance at work or a casual stranger, this or that, and their nature, while well meeting at first, you kind of see like when you peel back the layers, the unnecessary nature of it, and then realize that it's all just for show. Like there's no purpose to talking to them. It's just their way of pretending, if you will, pretending to have a conversation, pretending to enlighten you, pretending to get to know you, this or that, because it's only a matter of time before you figure it out and realize that you bring them over to this country, you give them a place to live, right? They don't take their racist ways of like away. That's very common for with every culture, but it gets worse with them because on top of being like that, they're also extremely unhygienic, like extremely unhygienic, right? Like I had like people drive their cars and just throw garbage at my parents' house because even though it says you're not allowed to throw garbage here, and there's like a sign that says no litter, you're not allowed to litter here, they do it because this is what they come from. This is what they were born in. Literal refuse and filth. Right? The Pakis, the Punjabis, and it's not racist to say it because you will see it yourself. You will see them throwing garbage. You will see them, littering parks, this and that, right? And on top of that, their mental faculties, like their sexual attraction to children, everything about them is just garbage. It's the byproduct of smelling trash and being born in trash. So yeah, the whole idea of racism, the whole idea of like not wanting to like give people a chance is nonsense when they're not giving themselves a chance. Like how are you gonna like people who are full of filth and want to rape children? The Sikhs, the Pakis, they will not stop. And trust me, this Halloween, the best thing for you to do is to stay away from them or stay in large groups that exclude them. Alright? It's necessary because it is true. Take care, everybody.